Hey, this is Emily at Oz Inflatable Kayaks. I'm super excited to be talking about the Quest Angler Inflatable Fishing Kayak by Jaspara. This is actually a kayak, not a small boat pretending to be a kayak, and it is super lightweight. Look at this, 14.5 kilograms. Finally, a kayak I can lift. All the other fishing kayaks on the market, inflatable fishing kayaks, I can't even get them up my shoulder, let alone up high. We're just thrilled to bring you something that's actually manageable. Be careful when you're checking other websites. Sometimes they'll list like the hull weight. You want to make sure that it's not just the hull weight. What we're doing here with 14.5 kilograms is this includes the seat, this includes the foot pegs, this includes both anchor trolley, this includes the deck lift. So basically everything you're lifting down to the water. Now, feature-wise, we have not skimped. So you've got two anchor trolleys on this boat. This is the anchor trolley here. It's essentially a pulley system at either end, threaded through D-rings with a ring here that you hook your anchor onto. So you can see my anchor's in the water there and the current's pulling this way. Now, what is the purpose of this? The purpose is so that you can actually angle your boat whatever angle you want. There's nothing worse than wanting to fish over there and being faced over the other way and you can't move. See how you can slide it along and you can choose the side as well. So depending on where the current is, this will affect how you go in the water. Look at this. So the current's coming down this way and you want to point that way, you can. You want to point that way, you can. You can do whatever you like. It's awesome. I do not know why it's not standard on all inflatable fishing kayaks. Mounts. We've got two mounts right up the front. I see a lot of kayaks with mounts on the side here. You cannot paddle with a fishing rod next to you. It's just completely impractical. These mounts are universal. So in this case, we've demonstrated with the Railblazer Starport HD mount, but they're also compatible with the Scotty mount. So whatever you want to put on, you can. In the back, rather than mounts, we've actually just allowed a huge amount of space. So this kayak's 330 centimeters long, as opposed to our Solo Quest, the Quest Solo, which is 290 centimeters long. And it's so you can put a crate in the back, something like the Pelican Exo crate, the Railblazer Gear Hub. We've got 4 D-rings spaced fairly widely so that you can hook those down in case of turning over. So plenty of access to gear. This is an EVA foam pad. We just found if you're pulling a fish in, you can get your feet out and you can get your fish there on your towel and really be working on it without worrying about any damage to that floor. Now, the thing that's really exciting is, and I mentioned it earlier, it actually paddles like a kayak. It paddles beautifully in the water, unlike some of the small boats we see on the market. Why is this so? So the first thing is it's significantly narrower than all the other inflatable fishing kayaks on the market. It's 85 centimeters wide. That is very standard for an inflatable kayak. But if you have a look at this from here to here, this is how wide the 110 centimeter kayaks on the market are. Can you imagine trying to get your paddle over an inner tube that comes out to here and out to here? I don't have to imagine because I've got one and I've been paddling with it. This is actually my friend. I take the camera, so I don't have any pictures of me in it, but we had to take turns paddling this. It was quite an effort. So you're not only wide, see how high she is in the kayak. So you have to not only get over the side, you have to then get down to the water. Now, the reason you're so high is they've put an aluminium folding frame seat in this particular kayak. This is the Primal Predator. So I love aluminium folding frame seats, very comfortable, very supportive. They are, however, very big and they're very heavy, but they've put it in because they've got what's called a drop stitch floor in this kayak, as do we have in the Quest Angler inflatable kayak. Drop stitch basically means the chamber's stitched top to bottom all the way through. You can inflate it to quite high pressure. We put 10 psi in ours and it becomes rigid. So if you can imagine inflatable stand-up paddle boards where people have all their weight on the one point but the board stays rigid, that's what drop stitch does. So you can see Lee here, he's 97 kilograms at this time and the kayak is completely rigid, right? There's no bending, there's no buckling. So, they go, yeah, we've got drop stitch floor, it's rigid, we'll whack in a folding frame seat without considering the center of gravity. So when folding frame seats came in with the hard shell fishing kayaks many years ago, they were recessed into a well so that your center of gravity was still nice and low. Why is that important? Stability. So in a fishing kayak, you absolutely need to be stable. You are getting pulled, you are getting excited, things are happening, you're throwing, you're doing all sorts of stuff. You absolutely need to be centered and stable in that kayak. Now, when you get up high, you are way tippier. And so they have compensated for the tippiness by having this really wide hull, like boat, let's just call it. So you can see we have still kept it narrow, but kept the stability because where is my butt? Like, I am not sitting up high in this kayak. I am sitting down low. My center of gravity is low. I am completely stable and secure in this kayak because I'm lower. How have we done that? This cushion here that sits underneath is removable. So I've just taken the cushion out. Now, we gave you a cushion because some people have really tight hamstrings and they like to be a bit raised, or if you've got a lot of water in your kayak and you want to sit up, you can. You actually still have quite good stability in this kayak, even with the cushion. But to get that stability, and I like the cushion out in the Quest range because my paddling motion is perfect. Like, it's really, really nice. Now, the other thing that makes it a gem on the water is the hull shape. So it's not just about having drop stitch, it's about the shape of the drop stitch. You can see the bow here is pointed up. Pointed up bows are great for whitewater because they allow you to pivot. The problem on flat water is that they allow you to pivot. So this kayak would be going side to side to side every stroke you make, except that they've got a fin on the bottom that's helping it. It still moves side to side quite a bit. The back is just flat, so that's giving you absolutely no help in tracking. The problem with fins, you got to slide them in and out. It can be a little challenging. They get stuck. I've become pretty good now at using a towel to kind of hoik them out. And you have to tip, this is a 30 kilogram kayak, you have to kind of like tip it up on its side. So you can't put your gear in, get the fin on, and then you can't put it down on the ground. You got to put it in the water. Anyway, what I'm saying is that it's a hassle and it's not as effective as getting the right hull shape. So you can see here we have a flat hull, and then the drop stitch keel goes into the water, down into the water. It's at both the bow and the stern, to the point where if you rested this on the grass, it actually tips to one side or the other. That's how much it goes down in the water. And you can see it here, peeling that water aside and preventing the waggling. I am not using a fin in this footage, and I am just gliding beautifully straight. The paddling experience is excellent in this kayak. And what makes it even better is the foot pegs. So here, what we've got is foot pegs, is adjustable foot pegs. So you just slide them back and forth. We've made it so that it's suitable for reasonably short people and also very tall people. This kayak's very long, so you can loosen the seat straps, get your seat right back. And what that allows you to do, you brace your feet, and it allows you to rotate through the core as you're paddling. And you can use your whole body in the paddling motion. It's very efficient, much easier than just using your arms and shoulder. I absolutely love it. Now, I forgot to mention with the seat something really important. Because you're not getting a folding frame seat, but you might be out there for a good while in this kayak, we thought, how can we make this as supportive as a folding frame seat, but way smaller and way lighter? So what we've done here is we've stiffened the back. So we've given you, so in the back there's like a stiffening panel in this seat. We've made it thicker because I'm sick of it kind of bending under the weight, right? And we want this kayak's suitable for up to 130 kilogram person with 180 kilograms of capacity. So we need it to be super strong. We need it to be super stiff. So we've thickened that. Second thing, you've got 2 adjustment points with the straps here. So you can adjust both the lumbar and the mid back. That's really important for me. I like a particular amount of adjustment there. And we've given you the D-rings really high on the inner tubes. Okay, so I see so many kayaks where the D-rings are here or even on the floor. Being pulled down is not the same as being pulled kind of up and forwards. And trust me, I've tested like 20, 30 kayaks. Like I've noticed this difference is significant. So you actually get really good support on this seat, even though it's not a folding frame seat. Now, heads up, this is not a stand to cast kayak, right? For a stand to cast kayak, you need something like the iAttack, which has, you know, really huge drop stitch sort of platform and stability with the recessed seat, and it's a booster seat. So you can fold it forward and perch yourself so that you can stand up easy. Standing up and down from like a seated on the floor position is quite difficult. So the booster seat is what you're looking for if you want to stand and cast, but be aware that that's a 22.5 kilogram kayak. So the weight goes up quite a bit when you start looking at those features. In terms of setup, this kayak's really simple. All of the Quest range is really simple. There's 3 chambers. They all have exactly the same valve type, so it's bang, bang, bang with the pump. I recommend an electric pump because it's just quicker and easier. Any electric inflatable kayak or inflatable sup pump on the market will work, but you can use the hand pump that we provide. The floor chamber is 10 psi, that's the high pressure drop stitch. The side chambers are 3 to 5. So if you are 130 kilograms, if you're at that upper end, definitely use 5 psi. It won't explode actually till 8 psi, but we like to give you some wiggle room there. The bow and stern deck raisers are optional, but I'd strongly recommend you put them in to prop this up, because any water that lands here is just going to dump straight in your kayak if you don't do it. We're actually put a rear one on. All the other ones in the market just have front ones, because when you pull up on a beach, even little waves, they break over the rear deck and water just dumps in. Foot pegs are optional if you're taking dogs, kids, or you just don't use it. By all means, leave it out. Get your seat as far forward as you can to get the balance forward in the kayak so that that bow shaping is in the water. However, obviously, if you're tall, you can move them back. The rear straps are optional. If you've got a gear crate in there, you don't need to do it. All those straps do is stop the seat from falling on you when you're trying to get in. And the fin is completely optional. Do not bother if you're just going for a paddle. The reason we gave you a fin is so that you can strap on a propeller. So all the fin box propellers on the market will slide straight into this mount, and they're awesome. They're heaps of fun. We get a lot of requests with fishing kayaks for fin box propellers, so we made sure we put that fin box on there so that you can get out deep. Now, I just wanted to mention the amount of space in this kayak. It's quite long. Not all of you necessarily will be looking at this for fishing. It's actually really good if you are really tall, because you've got heaps of leg room, or if you want to go out with a solo kayak, but you want to be able to take like a couple of large dogs or a very large dog or a couple of kids, right? Or even if you want to go on an expedition, you can load up with gear. It is not a dry kayak though, like there's no deck covering there, just you have to put stuff in dry bags if you're doing that, because there's a lot of storage up the front here, because that keel goes down. You got a lot of storage up here and in the stern there as well. Really, really big kayak, quite versatile. I mentioned the drop stitch on the floor. The side tubes are made from PVC tarpaulin. So this is different to regular PVC. You've got this ripstop layer here. You've got PVC on the either side of that. This does a few things. It makes it really thick. It makes it non-stretchy, right? So it kind of improves that tensile tension around the tubes, even at pretty low pressure. And it stops snag. So if you get a rock kind of snag here, it hits this ripstop polyester layer and kind of stops. So you get like a cosmetic scratch, but it doesn't often go through to the other side. It's very effective. It's basically like having a scar. It means I've been having fun. I've been having adventure. There's also these ridge protectors on the bow and stern keel, because these are the bits, if you pull up, the beach and the boat ramp, these are the bits that are going to have that contact, and they're very, very tough. So durability wise, it's excellent. Now we put a lot of time and effort. This is me trying to figure out measuring out where to put these D-rings for the rear crate. We really went to great lengths to make sure this kayak was suitable for a wide variety of heights and gear requirements. And the quality of the workmanship is just amazing. Like seeing these guys stick on the D-rings and the skill and the expertise they use and the quality. These kayaks are handmade, and they really are very, very careful in their work. Not only that, all kayaks get inflated and left for 7 days to make sure they're holding pressure. So we know that anything we deliver to you is a fully functional kayak. Huge fan of the Quest Angler Inflatable kayak. I'm just excited that there's a fishing kayak that's actually a kayak that I can lift. If you have any questions about this kayak, please get in touch. This is Emily at Oz Inflatable Kayaks.